Call to order the regular common council meeting, Monday, February 3rd, 2020, 7 p.m. Roll call.
Vaughn? Yes. Isa? Yes. Davis?
Yes.
Olson? Here. Radke?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
Next item, Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Confirmation of appropriate meeting notice.
Meeting was noticed on Friday, January 31st. Agendas posted at the post office, library, and city hall.
Confirmation of appropriate meeting notice. Oh, that's what we just did. Council acceptance of the agenda.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Personal appearances. Anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on anything that's not on the agenda? Okay, we'll move on to the minutes from January 20th.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any corrections or additions?
Just a real quick one. First page of the minutes under committee reports, second paragraph under finance. Second line, conditional upon, I think that's finding instead of find out. Other than that, that's it. Thank you.
We need a motion to put that in there.
You should, yes.
Make motion to include ing at the end of find.
Second.
Change find to finding.
I'll second.
Okay, let's take a vote on the motion to change the spelling. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now a motion to approve the minutes, unless there's more corrections. Any more corrections on there? Okay, and then the motion is to approve them. All those in favor of approving the minutes as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Committee reports.
Yes, finance met just before council. I'll make a motion to approve bills and payroll in the amount of $101,700.28.
Second.
Any questions on the bills? Hearing none. Roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Radke?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Isa?
Yes.
Motion passes.
There were no license to be approved. So I'll make a motion to adopt City of Edgerton Resolution 01-20, resolution authorizing the 2019 property tax equivalent charged to the water utility.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Davis? Yes. Isa?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Radke?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve adoption, or motion to approve adoption of City of Edgerton Resolution 02-20, resolution approving the assigned fund balance for the year ending December 31st, 2019 in the amount of $1,065,088.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Isa?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Radke?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve City of Edgerton Resolution 03-20, resolution approving budget transfers and amendments for the year ending December 31st, 2019.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Isa?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Radke?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve agreements for impoundment and stray animals between the City of Edgerton and Dane County Humane Society.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Motion passes.
We don't need to carry over this as a question. I guess I just realized that. Number 10 from the finance,
the attorney.
the attorneys.
Oh, no, we needed direction from finance, so then the council would be
Okay.
approving contracts. That
Okay,
would be
so
the
we
next
don't
step.
have to, that didn't carry over to, okay,
Get to see them
perfect.
when they're put together.
Thank you. Then I will make a motion to approve purchase of fill dirt for 407 North Main Street, purchasing from Bob McGuire in the amount of $10 per cubic yard.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve loan subordination for Edgerton Gear.
Second that.
Any discussion?
Mona, for the benefit of the other members, if you could repeat the background on that.
Certainly. The city has 3 loans to Edgerton Gear, all through its TIF district for the economic development objective of the addition, the significant addition they put onto their building a few years ago. We are in a second position behind their primary mortgage. And at this point, they want to refinance their primary mortgage, so in that process, we would move to a first position, and banks never want to take a second position to the city. So they always ask that we subordinate. We have agreed to subordinate before originally, so they're asking that we, as they refinance, subordinate again. Typically, we give you an idea of what the city's risk is in this kind of decision. The original mortgage amount that Edgerton Gear had when you originally agreed to subordinate, they will be going back to that mortgage amount. Over time, they have paid down their mortgage somewhat, and now they're wishing to refinance and go back to the original mortgage amount. So you're kind of in a similar position that you originally agreed to. The other piece is probably more relevant to your risk level is our loan is paid back by the tax increment that's created, not necessarily the business success or anything like that. So when we evaluate the tax increment that's created, they've created almost double the amount of increment they would need to pay back our loan. So it would take a significant reduction in the value of that property for your loan to be at risk. So we think that this is an important piece to the business's development, and because our risk is not substantially different than where you started, and they have a lot of increment, we would recommend you agree to the subordination.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Motion passes.
And that's it for finance.
Thank you. Anything from Fire District?
2 quick things from my perspective, and then I can turn it over to Chief Pickering. Auditors are in this week, so we're working with the auditors also. Our next scheduled Fire District Board meeting is a week from Thursday, which is the 13th. Anything for you?
Pretty good summary. Continue to be busy. No big records or anything like that at this point in time, but it was a busy January. Other than that,
Good.
Thank you.
That's it.
Next item is consider Realtor RFP for sale of Veterans Memorial Building. How about some background?
All right, the draft RFP for your consideration starts on page 7 of your packet. It's the cover letter, and then the rest of it follows. The points I would like for sure to point out to you, for you to consider, are that there's a fee schedule. The fee schedule has 2 different commission levels. One is if the realtor were to bring a seller that we are unaware of at the moment. We're aware of 3 different people that have expressed interest in the building, so we have asked for a different percentage that the broker may provide to you, is if they make the sale to one of the 3 people that has expressed interest in the property already, then the percentage would theoretically be less. So they've been given an opportunity to provide those 2 different fees. The other point I think that is important for you to consider is in the middle of page 9, the selection criteria. There are proposed percentages as to how you will weigh the criteria of the proposals. The first one being 20% is based on experience and qualifications, 20% knowledge of the Edgerton real estate market, 20% on the proposed strategy to market the property, how will they get the word out about the property, and 40% on the fees. So anyone who wishes to modify those percentages or the criteria, that now would be the time to do that so that we can send this out.
Yep. Ideally, you'd have a motion to put the matter on the table before you have any significant discussion on this.
Okay, so we can have further discussion. I'll make a motion to,
Okay.
okay,
Go ahead.
to approve the attached Realtor RFP for sale of the Veterans Memorial Building.
Second.
Okay, discussion? Everyone good with the,
How long is the process for? What's the
6
general
months is what the
timeframe?
contract is proposed. The initial contract period would be for 6 months. The RFPs, if that's your question, are due mid-February, February 13.
Yeah.
And that's relatively short time frame, but it isn't like some proposals require, 50 pages of work and a whole bunch of analysis of a project or something. So this is pretty straightforward. It's really just fees and your resume. So we thought that shorter time frame to keep it moving would be appropriate in this case.
Did you say due back by February 15th?
February 13th, they're due here.
13th.
Correct.
So if this is approved, it would go out tomorrow?
Correct.
So a little bit more than a week.
Yes, and if you think that's too short, we certainly can extend that.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to amend it to March 13th.
I'll second that motion.
Just
discussion?
curious,
Discussion on
discussion.
the amendment?
Just curious as to the purpose of the date, March 13th?
I just added a month to the one that was
Just a
given.
month, okay. Then my question is there any pros or cons to extending it a month from our perspective or from maybe the Children's Center perspective? Does it help? Does it hinder? Does it?
This is only to select the realtor, so it
Correct.
probably shouldn't have any impact positively or negatively. Again, we can't fill we're not likely to actually, the lease runs for another year and a half, so it's negligible effect, I guess, is what I would say.
Okay, that's all I was wondering.
Who are the 3 different people that have experienced interest?
Some of them ask not to be disclosed because they haven't talked to the people that they're responsible to talk
How
to.
many have asked?
As indicated here, 3.
I think pretty much we know one of them.
Yes.
Well,
She the one that doesn't want us to tell? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. The word
We won't,
out.
don't worry.
Where would this RFP go? What's the process and where would it go out to?
We put a copy on our website. We
Okay.
announce it on Facebook, and then we talk about it on Facebook over the time period.
Okay.
There's a vendor net, which is a place where many vendors simply go to. It's like a clearinghouse for places for RFPs for things like this. And then Jenny mentioned one other avenue that is a free source, also all online, to get the information out. So that would be and then we would, of course, send it to the realtors who assisted initially with giving an idea of, we would make sure they are aware of it specifically since they've already been of assistance to the council.
So then hopefully my last question is, if we do extend this out a month, so I'm thinking about if anybody saw this, do you think being a month out, do people say, oh, okay, I'm going to get to that, and then they never do? Or knowing it's a shorter time frame, do you think people work a little bit faster and harder to get their RFPs in? You know what I'm saying?
I do. As RFPs go, I mean, you've been involved in a lot of them as a council, and this one, replying to this would be pretty straightforward. So the staff's objective was thinking to pick the time frame that matched the amount of work it was so that we moved the process along. But as your city attorney has indicated, there isn't any rush, and I don't know if people are apt to set it aside and forget it because they have 6 weeks to do something that isn't, a real difficult task, but
I'm just wondering if extending it 2 weeks versus 4 might be a nice in-between.
I would go with that, if it's a benefit and not a hindrance.
Right.
And would you want it on a Thursday, so it's available for Fridays? It's on a Thursday here.
We usually try to match the city council agenda, so we have a few days before an agenda. Sometimes we work the calendar that way, so the 13th would have allowed us to have it, I assume, on the second February meeting. So if you went to the end of February.
Do on the 27th.
Then you've got a few days before the first meeting in March.
So the 27th of February would be a what day? Would that be a Thursday?
13th or Thursday also, yeah.
But we have a motion to move it to the 13th, so
Yep.
that has to be voted on first.
Correct.
I'm good with the motion.
So, any more discussion on the March 13th deadline?
I'm not sure if this is the right moment to ask this question, but once the RFP deadline arrives, how long before the turnaround? We see it on the next agenda, and that's when we decide who's the realtor?
I would work with the finance chair, and we would put the finance committee typically is the group that does the evaluation.
Sure.
And so everybody rates them. I think you may have sat through one of those where the finance committee gets together, they do their rankings, we total up all the numbers, and then it either goes that night right away to council if it has to, or we wait 2 more weeks and get it all together and get it to the council for your decision regarding who has the highest points and then who gets a contract.
And once we decide that, it's essentially on the market then, or?
The realtor would then talk with you, the council, they would have advice regarding price, about all kinds of things, and you would have to work with them on, take their suggestions as to how you want to market the
I was
property.
just curious what the timeline looked like once we chose a realtor.
Good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would any improvements be scheduled while there's a tenant?
As we've talked about, there's nothing in the 2020 budget for making any additional improvements. Is that what your question is?
Similar. But
Yeah, we haven't budgeted anything for 2020 to do any improvements, so that, again, is something that the council could undertake if they wished, or you would, in the normal processes, it would stand in line with other, projects that we would have to do for 2021 budget.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, the motion to move the deadline to March 13th. If you're in favor of that, you vote yes. If you want a different date, you vote no. And if there's no further discussion, we will take a roll call.
Radke,
Yes.
Braun,
No.
Isa,
Yes.
Davis,
No.
Olson,
Yes.
Burdick.
No.
Is that 3-3?
Yes.
Motion fails.
I'll make a motion to extend the,
I just want to clarify, is that you're not voting, so the
Correct.
3-3, it just passed? Okay.
okay. I'll make a motion to extend the deadline date for the RFP to Thursday, February 27th.
Second.
Okay, discussion on the,
Is there a discrepancy in the vote we should talk about?
I thought Ann and I were the only ones that voted yes.
I thought Supervisor Esau voted
I
yes.
thought Dave voted yes.
He did, yeah.
Yes.
3-3.
I'm sorry.
I thought I heard 3, so that's why I wanted to make sure with you. Okay, motion and a second on the floor now for February 27th. Any discussion on that?
Well, as we were saying before, I like it that it's on a Thursday, finance can get it Friday, and maybe to us on Monday. And we'll get, the other way would have put it on Friday, or I believe Friday was the 13th, they wouldn't have gotten to the council for...
No,
Finance
that was
wouldn't
a
have-
Thursday also,
but
the 13th.
March 13th?
March-
Oh, excuse
no,
me,
March, yeah.
I'm sorry. I
That
thought
was,
you meant
that would have put us
February.
way back, because it wouldn't have gotten the finance
They would've
before
moved
Monday,
it.
and I mean, so this way, it can get to us still in February, or March 1st meeting, whatever.
Who was the second on that? Candy,
Jim.
you made the motion, correct?
Correct.
Jim.
Jim, thank you.
That was just my thinking, you're moving it up quite a bit by doing that, not just, because by two extra weeks would put it way back, because it wouldn't be able to hit the next meetings, would have been double meeting.
Yeah, there's 5 Mondays in March, so it would have taken it all the way to April.
Yeah, right. You missed an entire month.
Okay. Motion and a second to change the deadline to February 27th. No further discussion, we'll take a roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
Olson? No. Radke?
No.
Motion passes 4-2. And now, back to the original motion to approve the RFP process. Any more discussion on that? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
Olson? No. Radke?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-1. Next item is demonstration of election equipment.
So I just wanted to show the council a little bit the money that they approved in the budget for both our Badger books, which is our poll book, and the Express vote, which replaces our old handicap machine. We'll be using these both in February, so if you want to take one and pass them down.
Just like at home.
We have early voting, right?
So, my last election, this was how large the poll book was. So it took 2 people, they had to page through, find the voter's name in both books, record the numbers, and get the elector to vote, to sign the book. There's a lot of room for error in that process because, one, it's time consuming for 2 people to find the same page. 2, to look at the numbers, one pulled the numbers, and the other one looked at the next number, and they find the
Wait,
stuff.
I got 2 of those, sorry.
So now we have what's called the Badger book, which I just put a little short explanation about. It's the one that just says Badger book on top. So this has been, the state has been working on developing this since 2017, and it's been used in communities since then. So it basically replaces that paper copy, and the screen basically, a lot of action. Basically shows the election worker the whole process of walking the voter through giving their name, providing their ID, making sure the address is right. If you look on the last page of your handout, it's a screenshot of the screen that it provides. So in the middle, you'll see where the arrow is, there's a bubble. And each screen will have a bubble that tells the poll worker what to ask the person ready to complete or register to vote. So it's pretty foolproof. Make sure you state their name and address. Once they do, you click the next screen, which is the next one down. Ask them to spell their last name. What's nice is it can go by, they recommend like 4 letters of your last name. It'll pull up a search, which is the bottom section of this page. Not only will bring up people in the city of Edgerton, but it'll also bring up the shaded ones, which have a similar name that are outside of the city. So if somebody's here outside the city, this will give them instructions of, poll worker can give the person instructions of where they're supposed to go to vote, and that they aren't in the city, basically. Yeah, well, registered here in the city. So it's got a lot of nice features like that to, you know, help them, not only the voter, but also the poll worker. So after the meeting, I'd be glad to kind of demonstrate and we can play with it a little bit. The information that's loaded in here is the 2018 election information poll book. So it's just a demo program that has probably most of you all in there, so we can pull it up and just kind of demonstrate it. What's nice about this is we've got 5 units. They are not internet connected. They don't connect to the Wisconsin voter system. It's basically a thumb drive that's put in the bottom that we take the information from the state election voter registration system, download it on a thumb drive, put it in this system, and the modem that connects the 5 units in here is only within a radius of like 300 feet. So you can't get, you know, information outside this perimeter. I don't think probably outside this room just because of the walls. So the state has really tried to make everything as secure as possible. I kind of gave you some just brief notes about their security system, what it can and can't do. All it's doing is replacing that great big pile of paper. So all this thing is a database with names and addresses. So it wouldn't be any different if someone would hack into it. It would be just like them taking a poll book. So it doesn't contain ballots, it doesn't contain just basically name and addresses. If you're a new registration, you might have your driver's license or your birthday. So kind of a brief overview. Does anybody have questions, or like I said, we can demonstrate after?
So mine's not so much a question, Cindy, as much as it would be good after the primary, our next meeting, if you could give us a update on how did it go for the first one.
Yep, I'm glad to.
You know, were there any glitches you found, or no, it was really quick and we think it's going to save us a lot of time, or whatever?
That's the big thing that I really liked about it. One, it's going to save time for people not having to go through that book and coordinate. One person runs the machine, the numbers spit right out here. 5 machines talk to each other, so they sequentially will always keep the number system accurate. And I think it's going to just eliminate human errors, which after 5 hours of looking at a book, you know, it's a little mind-numbing. So
They were really good at that.
What?
I said the election workers were really good at that. But would you please refresh us as to what was the cost of this and what additional equipment, if any, was needed to purchase?
This, we bought 5 units for a total of, it was just under 10,000. It was 900 and,
9850.
what?
9850, I believe.
9850. So, and everything came included. So the only thing we have to buy is the paper for the printers.
Oh,
So, yeah, so, you know, they put a good package together so there were no hidden costs. So,
9580, sorry.
what?
9580, I had them backwards. It was in- it was in the, yeah,
That's a good finance guy right
9580.
there.
So afterwards, I can glad to demonstrate that. But the other thing we bought, and this we bought in 19, this was a 2000 purchase, was the new, it replaced the old clunky handicap accessible machine. So I gave everyone the February, this is the size of our ballot for two candidates. This is the size of the ballot for just about any races we'll have. So even though it's measure handicap, I really encourage people to use this. Basically, it's got the signing on the bottom where I put test demo. Your election workers will sign it as a ballot. The ballot just gets inserted. And then what's nice is the ballot information comes right up on the machine. You can do different things. You can make it larger for people with that have sight impairment. You can use it with a black background. You know, it has different options there. It has for people that need Braille. It's got a keypad. It's also programmed for headphones. You can turn the screen off, and someone that blind can listen to the ballot, and it'll allow them to select the candidates there. So, but what's nice about it, especially with the primary coming up in April, because it's a partisan primary, which is the most confusing ballot I think Wisconsin can have, because you can only vote in one party. You can't cross over. This machine will be like dummy-proof. It'll only, if you pick a Democrat, it will only give you candidates for the Democrat. You pick Republican, it'll only give you those. If you pick Green Party, it'll only give you those candidates. So for people that get frustrated with it, we'll refer to this. But it's as easy as just hitting your selection, moving on. At the end, it actually tells you what you voted. If you want to change it, you can go back and change it. But once you're finished, you just hit print card. And all it's going to print on your card is the selections you made. It doesn't give you all the candidates again. So it'll only give you the races that you picked and what you voted in those races. So just pass what those look like.
So then, Cindy, does that paper that comes back out get put into the...
Exactly. All this does is
ballot
mark the ballot.
machine?
So then you take that ballot and you put it in the tally machine.
So the purpose of having a physical record is so that no one outside of the polling process could manufacture an entirely fictitious poll and substitute that for the actual poll. It wouldn't be possible because you've got the paper record and they wouldn't have it.
Right. Yeah, what's nice is there's always a paper ballot produced, so there's nothing electronic voting, you don't have something to back it. So right now, the county gave us just a test election, as you can see from the sample. So we can, if you wanted to play with this too, I've got it set up so everybody got a sample ballot. But as you can see, it's going to save money because, how many of these do you produce and you destroy after an election? Where the thermal paper ballots, there's no specific ballot on it, so.
I'm impressed that the reader can read two different types of, right? Because
Yes.
that's how
Yeah, so
the other voting spits out. When you're voting on your own, without that machine, it's something other than this.
It's
right, it's the
there.
actual
So
ballot
it
like
takes
this.
two different
Takes
types
both of
of
them.
papers or whatever it can read. You don't
Yes,
need
either
two
one.
different readers.
No,
It'll read-
the tally machine will read both style ballots.
This also provides a safeguard that if you run out of ballots, which is a risk that Cindy takes every time she has to decide how many ballots to order, and we always have to order a lot extra, so that's unlimited. So if you run out of ballots, the election doesn't, you don't have to go to paper copies and all of the mess that is, so you just have everybody uses that machine.
Good
Right.
idea.
Yep.
Cool.
So, and I think a lot of people who have been afraid of the old handicap machine because it was clunky and it was slow, and it was dated. We'll turn to this.
Now, didn't I hear you also say that that'll be used for absentee, I mean, you're going to encourage people to use
Yeah.
absentee voters?
Yes, at this point, we don't have the new programmed keys to have the November or
February.
February,
Got it.
that one, February election, but once we get those, we'll put this on the counter, and we have a shield over to put around it, so it's privacy. But we're going to encourage people coming in to vote in the office to use this, because then they know that their ballot is correct and it'll be counted, because so many times, especially with April, the absentee ballots come back and, you have to throw half of their votes away because they crossed over or something.
Got it.
So this will eliminate that.
Hmm.
So kind of in a nutshell, but I wanted to show you it, yeah.
Do we have one of those?
We only have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, if we find it becomes really popular, I might be back and ask for some money. But, I'm encouraging the election, the poll workers to encourage people to try this out. So, because I don't want one person to vote on this and everyone to vote on paper ballots, and it's like obvious who, if you remember, who voted on it, that's their ballot. So I'm going to encourage not only our election executives, but everyone here to try it out and use it. So that's
Thanks, Cindy.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So I'll leave both of them up, and after the meeting, and they will,
You can all play, yeah.
Thank you. Mayor, all the person and staff reports. I can't think of anything that I have.
I did notice that one of the recycling bins is downtown. It looks
There's
great.
two?
Where's the other one? I saw the one outside of the Red Baron, and I couldn't find the other one. Where's the other one?
The other one's in front of the depot.
Oh.
Side one on Fulton.
No
Interesting.
wonder you missed
East
it.
side of the
They look really nice.
Anybody ready to get out of here?
To adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, signify by